Anna Leon. Hello everyone, this is another video that we're going to do about the history of Thailand, but in this case about books that I would suggest for you to read. Of course, if you don't want to read, you could always watch my videos on history of Thailand as well. However, some people prefer to read. Obviously, none of you are going to be able to read any history books that are in Thai language. So, what books are good to read? I'm going to talk about the 5 best ways to study about Thai history. This is both for people who are really interested in learning the in-depth detail of Thai history and want to know about the culture, where it comes from, and also for people who are just tourists who want to know a little bit of information about Southeast Asia and Thailand before they arrive here on their trip. The first major suggestion I have, if you really want to detail Thailand out, is actually to read books about the countries around Thailand. Books about, say, about Cambodia, about Myanmar, or even about Laos are very important when it comes to Thai history, because since the countries are so close to each other and have taken over each other multiple times, they tend to have a lot of cause and effect relationships with each other. However, obviously, if you want to learn specifically just about Thailand, these books will just give you small details that you probably wouldn't find in a Thai book. So why don't we start diving into the actual books about specifically Thailand? So my second option for you guys would definitely be books like the Chiang Mai Chronicle or the Kingdom of Siam, 1690, or even books, memoirs by Anna Leon, The Woman from the King and I. Those are primary and secondary sources which are very important when it comes to studying about Thai history. This is more for people who really want to go deeper into the understanding of Thai history and Thai culture. So number one, if you're only here for a short while, they're not going to teach you anything that you might find interesting. Number two, if you're trying to get a perspective from one of them, it's not a good idea because they're very biased. Another thing too is that they can be really boring at times. So that brings us to my third suggestion. The History of Ayutthaya, Siam in the Early Modern Period. This is a great book when it comes to understanding Ayutthaya, and it is very detailed. It has a lot of, it uses all of those primary sources that I talked about. My only problem with this book is it brings up a lot of kings and brings up a lot of time periods and brings up a lot of structures and people that unless you already knew who they were in chronological order, it wouldn't make sense in this kind of context. I had to read another book to kind of understand what's going on with this one. It's also not much of a fun read to kind of get through. Not really for something that you would read on a plane for entertainment. And that would be this one right here, A History of Southeast Asia. This one is good for anybody who is planning on traveling to Thailand or to Southeast Asia in general. It gives you a good overview of the history of many countries in Southeast Asia. My only discrepancy with this book is that when it shows you a picture, it doesn't really coincide with what you're reading on the actual page sometimes. And the other thing too is that if you want a lot of detail, it kind of skips along the timeline of it. It does give you a perfect overview, and it is actually a fairly easy read. So if you were to go on an airplane from USA or England to Southeast Asia, you could read this book on the airplane and feel like you understand everything when you arrive. This brings me to my final book, and this is the one that's helped me out the entire time I've studied Thai history, An Illustrated History of Thailand. This one is so much better to bring along with you. There is another history of Thailand out there, and it is just as good. However, I prefer this one because it has way more pictures, and hence the word An Illustrated History of Thailand. Now, having pictures in a history book I think is very important, especially if you don't know what you're getting into when you're arriving here. If you want to know about the entire history from prehistoric to modern day, this book is that book that you would go for. My main discrepancy with this one would be is that it does end at King Rama IX's reign, and right now we are currently in King Rama X's. And on top of it, I think sometimes some details can be lost, some minor details can be lost in this book. However, you could read this and have a good understanding of Thai history without even having to be here. Alright, those are all my book suggestions. There are many other good Thai history books out there as well. These are the ones that I just tend to follow and how I've been studying along this way, not including Thai language books, of course. Please like this page and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more suggestions on books to read about Thai history, or even more about Thai history in general. Once the coronavirus is over, me and my friends plan on going out more and exploring Thailand and giving you a good understanding. Thank you very much, everybody. Sawadee krap.